So, ladies and gentlemen, the moment where some people have been waiting for, I guess, Trinidad Tobago has unveiled their new matchday kit from BOL, their sponsor. I hope I'm even pronouncing it correctly. I don't know if it's BOL or BOL. I could be corrected in the comment section below. So, James, the images are out. They released it. We also have a little reply on it, a response date on extvmedia.com. I'll put a link in the description below. So, James, we've been talking about this before. We saw the original pictures, and we have the pictures that are out now. What are your initial thoughts about both uniforms?
I have to say, I'm actually impressed. Mm-hmm. It's not what I expected by any means. I think both kits are very nice, very captivating. I think the red, I like all the detail. And the white particularly, I love the design on it. So I think it's going to make us stand out. And if you look at Montserrat's kit, very simple. They have their own design, which is nice as well. So it's give us something unique, something different. And as I say, I'm quietly surprised about it. So not bad at all.
Yep, I have to say I'm not against it at all. I actually think it's okay because we EXTV have our own merchandise as well, and something I won't say similar, but it's more the flamboyant nature like this. I like the away kit. If I had to get one, I like the the design. It's something that I would do if I had to design something. There was a little bit of a story behind it, which I'll read straight from the website, which James updated me on, which I didn't know. So I'm going to read it out really quickly. Where first of all, it starts off with the journey. Trinidad Tobago national team, the joy of fighting back. Football is full of ups and downs. I should do it in my narration voice. Football is full of ups and downs. And Trinidad Tobago national team has experienced both. From losing a classifying home game to finally breaking it to the World Cup. From being wronged in a qualifying match to winning a bronze medal at the Pan American Games. These challenges have been driving the team since day one. We should put in brackets, corruption and lies, but okay. And what motivated BOL to become the team's official sports brand? And that's what motivated BOL to become the team's official sports brand. With style, passion, and joy, we will help them chase even higher ups and before the fight back to the higher echelons of football on the global stage. First, with our support, soon with brand new gear. And then there's a picture with both jerseys there. James, there was some thought going into this, like all good brands. I understand the motive behind it. What are your thoughts on that?
Some of it's motivating. Some of it's poor grammar, in my opinion. But if I want to be honest.
Yeah, I had a hard time reading it, yeah.
Most of it's pretty good. I'm not so sure the Trinidadian public want to be known as a team that's fighting back, though, being honest. Mm-hmm. I think... we've been the number one team in the region for a long time, obviously not at the moment. So you could say we're fighting back, but I still don't think we necessarily maybe want to be labelled that. But it's not bad. If you get the right voice, if you get Sean Connery or Liam Neeson to read that, it might sound pretty good.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman could be another one as well. So it's interesting. As I say, I don't dislike it by any means. Just like the kits, I think the kits are very flashy and nice. And I think, as I say, it will set us apart. My one concern, I would say, is I think it's a little pricey. For the average fan, 990 TT, which is the same, obviously, as the Montserrat kit. 600 TT, basically. I think it's a little bit, especially for a brand we don't know. If it's an Adidas kit or a Nike kit, I'm going to go out and pay that. But for a brand that I don't know, but at the end of the day, they're a new brand. They're trying to obviously increase their self on the world stage as well as bringing us back to the world stage. Their words, not mine. Not bad at all.
Yeah, listen, I did have issues with the grammatical error. Clearly, it seems that somebody, I don't think English is probably, and this is not an insult. I'm just going to say that clearly, because this is the world we're living in. You have to be very clear about these things. You could tell that, the English was not their first language. So it was phrased like somebody who was translating. So I would have to guess that it's somebody maybe who speaks Spanish and, they're trying. Kudos to the attempt. I think they understand that, okay, we have to attach with brands. You have to attach an emotional connection with a brand. Anybody who does any sort of sport branding knows this. You could have the most brilliant jersey or design, but if there's not a connection, nobody's going to buy it. It has to represent something like the EXTV merchandise, which you all should buy, which helps kids. Shameless plug. But, I get what they're trying to do and I appreciate it. And also, let's be honest, for a while, we've been basically purchasing Joma jerseys. The marketing, thank God, there's somebody who kind of understands that you have to put some effort into marketing. The one thing that I think will be an obstacle for them is that Trinidad and Tobago has had so much negatives going on. And I think they're trying to capitalize on that us against them mentality, which I think they kind of slight. I understand the intent, so I'll give them an A for the intent, but the execution maybe is not as great. Maybe EXTV can help them out with that. Yeah, with the trailers where, I think they're trying to build that connection, but the disconnect, they have a lot of work to do. I think Trinidad and Tobago doing well in these qualifiers will be essential for this brand doing well. And that's unfortunately the fickle nature of these things. If let's say, God forbid, it doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't happen. But let's say Trinidad and Tobago goes on and wins. They can build on that. And even then, if the results don't consistently become well, they're going to have to adjust their marketing campaign. And I'm not going to give them my secrets because I have my ideas. So, but I think, verdicts aside, I think it's a good initiative where, beggars can't be choosers because people are not exactly knocking down our doors to give us jerseys. I'm happy with the design. I would wear it. You're right about the price, though. I think 90 is a lot. However, I understand, I guess, with the production and, the actual process of making a jersey isn't cheap. Because on one hand, if we get a really cheap jersey, then we'll turn around and say, okay, it's a cheap, crappy jersey. This is rubbish. We've done that before. The Trinidad and Tobago public has taken shots at previous jerseys before. So, it's a really tough thing. And, kudos to BOL, whoever they are. I'd like to have a chat with them one of these days, James, and see, what they think. But, let us know what you think out there, folks. I'm happy with the design. I'm not happy with the price.
It begs the question, Andre. Obviously we have Gold Cup qualifiers coming up. So will it be the battle of the ball? Trinidad against Montserrat, who are obviously both branded with us. So, there could be a little trophy there, come into it. It could be, the first two teams that wear the kit. But I think that's a great thing. So they can give me a call about that one if they want that. Oh, yeah. And the thing is, many years ago, I mentioned to various people within the association, and they know who they are, about that sort of thing. And I think for many years, people sat on this thing. And I still don't think they've mastered it. I think this is a step in the right direction. I've worked with a global franchise, which is the Knight Riders. I've seen the best do it. So, I come from a place of knowledge, not arrogance, where I see what's clearly wrong with our marketing. And I think this is a step in the right direction. I've read some comments, James. We just gave our opinions, but I read a lot of comments on social media and people don't seem to have the same opinion you and I have. And the thing is, art is subjective. So, people can, look at something and love it and hate it. The majority of people that I saw, which I won't say is a reflection of everyone, don't seem to be happy with it. And I'm trying to figure out if it's that they don't like the design, or is it because they're just unhappy with Trinidad and Tobago football in general, which goes back to my original point. Because the general consensus is like, oh, we're rubbish. Trinidad and Tobago is corrupt. And maybe it's overlooking the fact that it's some nice artwork. I think it's nice. I think it's very creative and different. That's something I would go for. But, what do you think about the fans' reactions? Because a lot of them seem to not be entirely happy. Well, the first thing we have to say is everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Yes, correct.
You, me, and everyone, Joe Public, whoever, not the team, obviously, the person.
I'm just going to say that, yeah.
But they're entitled to their own opinion, and that's fine, But the one thing I would say is, to me, it's the most creative kit since I've been in Trinidad and Tobago. There has been. So, it's nice. There will be people who will say, well, they don't like the character on the away kit. They don't understand, the link between, what's going on in the red kit. But I think there's a story there. And that's why probably it's very imperative to get somebody from BOL to come and tell the story. Yes, we have a beautiful kind of nicely worded, minus a few mishaps, on their website, fine. But come and tell us why you chose to do it this way. Or was it maybe that the Trinidad and Tobago Federation went to them and said, "This is what we want." It'd be interesting to find that out. But I think it will serve us well. I think, as I say, it gives us a little bit of an eye-catching look. And, I am not a big believer in getting an edge in terms of uniforms, but you never know.
Yeah, that's all part of the marketing, I guess. Everybody's saying, having a new kid heading into those games probably gives some sort of, appearance as if things are heading in the right direction. Because for many years, we've kind of been, having ad hoc solutions to our uniforms. I remember as back as maybe 2014, we had a nice Joma kit. I like Joma. To be honest, I had no issue with the Joma brand, but the marketing for the sales of those jerseys by the Football Association was awful. I remembered when I went to a training session and I looked at the jersey, it's almost like they were hiding it. They didn't want anybody to see, which to me is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. You already have a national team that has, a wavering fan base. You need to try to get your products out there as much as possible. And I think BOL, whoever they are, definitely have an international approach where I think they understand that, we have to get this thing out there, doing the photos, well done photos, not, those rubbish photos that we usually see that looks like, somebody with a phone from 2005 took it. And I'm not holding back on this one because I really think the bar has been set really low in terms of the marketing and everything, not just the jerseys. And I think a really good video campaign is important. That's well produced.
Well, I think another thing on that, Andre, as well is, yes, you can go online and buy it, but you have to remember that there's a good percentage of the population may not have access to be able to go online. So there has to be an option to buy at the stadium. Obviously the country's on lockdown, but so there really needs to be a BOL shop, somewhere in Trinidad where they can go in and buy these things. And let's hope they say there's going to be brand new gear. So there should be extras as well, So it's a good opportunity for Trinidad and Tobago or the Normalisation Committee to start us off, on the right foot, selling things, being able to get branded gear, even footballs, so that when we walk on the streets, we actually see some people wearing those shirts with pride.
Yeah, because I've known very big, influential people try to create brands, but because the marketing was poor, I can't say budget because a lot of them are very rich. It didn't have the impact it should. But, that's a whole marketing discussion that we could have, I was actually thinking about bringing in some CONCACAF marketing people as well, to chat about this. But, just from our, experience, I think, final verdict, I think it's great. It hasn't been unanimously received. So, maybe it may grow on people based on our results. One of my favorite kits, and you all could let me know what you think in the comment section below, was actually the one back in the Strike Squad days. I was a little kid back then, but I absolutely loved it. I thought it was one of our more unique kits. I actually think our least unique kit was at Adidas for the World Cup. Although it was the most powerful brand we ever got, in terms of endorsements, it was, stripes, the 3 stripes. Adidas has been more creative now, but I think, James, just to end things off, that our fans have been spoiled over the years, with getting brands like Adidas since 2006. And I think that also has a role to play. I think the expectations are very high by a lot of people where they're thinking, why don't we have Nike and Adidas? And I think they don't understand that, there's certain requirements, in terms of performance and status in the game for you to even be considered by these brands. And we had Adidas for many years. And even then, James, a lot of people did not buy the Adidas jersey. So that's interesting. So I like it. I think it's brilliant. James, obviously agrees with me as well. So folks, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about the jerseys. What do you think about the campaign, the style of the campaign, the journey, which, has its grammatical errors or whatever. But, I'm willing to overlook certain things and, just your general thoughts. So James, do you have any final things to add to this?
Well, all I'm going to say is I watched Argentina play, I think, last night. Mm-hmm. And they had, this is Adidas making a kit, and they had this picture of Maradona, which I thought was a great gesture. It looks like stuck on the shirt here.
Yeah.
So to me, even companies like Adidas make, in my opinion, errors, because to me, they should have put his face on the shirt, not on a sticker. So to me, these things are going to happen whether you're a big brand or a small brand. I think we've definitely raised the bar here. They've definitely not dropped the ball, let's say. I mean, it looks good. I hope the public buy, the kits. And as I say, I hope things work out. But as I say, I am excited with it.
And what I think they need to do to ensure that this is a success, because I've been around their marketing before. I was in part of trying to help with some other promotions in the past. They have to ensure that the greed that took place before, because I spoke to former players, and this is under the previous corrupt era that everybody talks about, where there were tons and tons of merchandise that was hoarded by people. And, they were explaining to me that there were lots and lots of Adidas gear and boots and so on that was just locked away somewhere. And eventually, I think they tried to distribute some many years later, but it was already dry rot and things like that. But we have to ensure that the people who are in charge of this merchandise ensures that it gets maximum visibility. It also, you open it up to local vendors, because I think that's the only way. Don't just have a limited range where they're going to pick one or two people and just roll with that, because just like their journey says, we have a lot of things, against us right now. So I think they should get maximum reach out. There's a lot of distribution companies in Trinidad and Tobago, rather than choosing one, because we're not the United States. We don't have this one dominant thing, although certain businessmen in certain parts of the island will disagree with that. I think the key is to avoid it being monopolized by one person and ensure that it gets to as much distributors as possible, even if it means going through one person. So, for example, you open a store, James, at least you have a shot at getting some of these jerseys and get that out there. I mean, obviously, you'll have some requirements. You can't put it in any store. But, that's the business stuff, which that's a whole other show. So, James, I agree with what you're saying. I like it. Some people don't. I don't think either of us will be getting one anytime soon, because, they could be advertising this. I don't know how the availability is. So we'll give our verdict on that. But we'll try to get our hands on one. So, guys out there, BOL, if you're hearing us and you want to send us a complimentary one, we could do a review. Send it my way. And James, our sizes are, I think, medium. And James, what is your size? Large?
Medium or large, depending on how slim fit it is. Yes.
So we're plugging ourselves for jerseys. I have no problems buying one. But I mean, I just think you made an interesting point that 90 US may turn off a lot of people. Things are not great right now financially for people. That's just a reality. So, I hope they know this and they put this into consideration. My suggestion would be is just like the established brands, you have the authentic jersey that the match jerseys. And then also you have replicas where essentially the same thing. They're not fakes, but they are downgraded in price. So you have price ranges where people can buy. And I know there's some fan gear as well. But I think most people would like the actual match jerseys. I don't think much people would really go for the fan jerseys. But that's my opinion. I hope they have an analytics team that analyzes these things. So, folks, we'll end it off there. James, it's been a pleasure as always. We know your thoughts. We're going to check out our match preview for the Trinidad Tobago Bahamas game and also the game against St. Kitts, Nevis. And also we have a couple discussions about, the upcoming World Cup, which will be coming up with James and myself and many others. So be sure to check that out in the link in the description below. Comment and be sure to continue subscribing us. And speaking about merchandise, support us by purchasing some merchandise from us, EXTV, in the link in the description below, because it helps kids, children, and I'm saying children because a lot of children are suffering that have been affected by this COVID-19. Income has been decimated. And by wearing this jersey, you not only help these kids, but you show that this brand represents what you're helping the kids. So marketing lesson 101, folks. 101. So James, once again, it's been a pleasure and thank you for joining us, folks.
Just a reminder, everyone, for more episodes with Shaka His Luck, be sure to head over to our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more updates, interviews, and content.